where nuts and bolts still have their proper identity. Welcome to Rip Roaring Garage. I'm Alex, and if you live on the East Coast or up in the People's Republic of Canada, aka Trudeauistan, we've had fires. I'm not going to get into why suddenly 13 fires just poof all at once. Oopsie. Maybe somebody that's doing things didn't time it right. But I want to talk a little bit about news again, and how they get things not quite right. So I guess these are the fires, and this is from News for JAX, a local station in God knows where, and it doesn't really matter. But
fire, you may have noticed ash on your car. Experts say that ash is bad for your vehicle, and when mixed with dew or light rain, it can form a chemical that can damage your car's paint job.
Now that is correct. This ash, in general, ash is going to be a heavy base, alkaline, and it can cause pitting in your paint when you have, light rain or the dew. So I'm going to get into a little bit why this is important and what we can do. It's not exactly what they're saying. You'll see in a second.
Channel 4's Elizabeth Campbell spoke to a local car wash owner about how you can protect your car. She's joining us live. Elizabeth.
Well, you can, of course, take your car to the car wash, or if you want to do it yourself, you can use a towel like this, but experts say not to rub into the car because the ash is...
Not to rub into the car. Proceeds to rub into the car. Like, people are visual. We look and do. So if you show this, the people are just going to get some random cheapo rag and just go to town. No, not even the feather dusters. You need lubricant. In other words, water if you're desperate, or detergent. And not dish detergent, although, I mean, in a pinch, it's better than nothing, I guess. Car wash soap.
It can be grainy, that might cut the paint. They say just to dust it off, either with a towel like this or a duster. Now,
yeah, that's awful. That's like some of the worst advice. I've seen cars from guys at car shows that use the duster, and it is just awful.
Meteorologist Rebecca Berry says that we're expecting dew in the morning, showers possibly throughout the day tomorrow, and when those ashes mix with light mist or rain, that is when the problem can occur.
As long as it's dry, it's not dangerous. But once you have a light dew or a heavy dew even, or a very light rain where it gets wet and it's still on the car, it becomes alkaline, and alkalinity can damage automotive paint.
Of course, Charles Holt.
Okay. So he's kind of going over the same things. I was just saying, now granted, I'm not a specialist in car washing, but I'm a car owner like many of you. And obviously, my first thought was, gotta protect the cars. They said, don't go outside. What do? I go outside for an hour and wash in all the cars. And when I say wash, what I did was basically douse them, heavily douse them. Yes, it's not ideal for water spots, but the water spots can be removed. Not to mention if you're going to do it later on or whatever. The issue was brevity. And because I was a little slow with the setup and a couple other things I was doing, I figured, I might not even make this video because you may see this and it might be days after this whole wildfire. The reality is we will have more. California pretty much has these all the time. So this is kind of a good thing to keep in the back of your mind. Wear a proper mask. And I mean, not this BS N95 stuff, because it has gaps. You want to prevent anything getting into your lungs. Or go old school. I dip the bandana in water. Put it over my face. Breathe through it, because that wet rag will soak up the particles, yada yada, and get to town on the cars.
An owner of Charles and George's car wash always encourages you to get your car washed, but he says now more.
Gee, the car wash owner always encourages you to get your car washed. Captain Obvious on the scene.
More than ever. If you don't have time to visit the car wash, he says you can do it on your own.
You can just dust it off. They wipe it off because it could be kind of gritty and you could scratch it.
No, I would not recommend dusting anything off. Dusting causes scratches. I would not be surprised if this guy has a detailing service where he can buff out said scratches, but you don't want like paint has a limited amount of how many times you can buff it and detail it. Every time you put a pad on it, you're eating through that clear coat, you're removing material, and at some point there isn't any left.
Your car, but some people have used just a feather duster and dusted it off. But washing it would be the best solution.
Okay.
Some experts say that the ashes on your car have potassium in them, so when mixed with water, that forms potassium hydroxide.
Like dousing, not a little bit of water that just pools there.
Which can be as corrosive as drain cleaner.
Keisha Mitchell isn't taking...
And I know I'm nitpicking a little bit. I'm trying to be a little funny. You know, you show drain cleaner to a generation that eats Tide Pods.
any risk with her new car.
It was so big, so I got him.
Yeah,
like the third time.
Hold on. Yes, that there. She really takes care of her car, no doubt.
It was so big, so I got them. Yeah, like the third time. It's like
the
smoke
Nissan
been big,
Altima?
and they turned my car. Like,
Yeah, there's
like
the
a
Nissan
gray.
Altima.
So, yeah, I done got my car fixed. Like,
why is it that they're everywhere, and it's always whatever.
I mean,
Your hair has
washed,
more
like,
color than your
3
car.
times this week, for sure.
She says the car washes are adding up, but thinks it's worth it.
Just 3 times, $15 a pop. So
cheap.
it's better to get a paint job.
Anyway, so yeah, we had this other one from Eyewitness News. This is local to me.
The tri-state area, it is making the skies hazy and making the
Interesting
western parts of Canada
photos.
for
I'm
the
not going to
last
sit
couple of
around.
weeks,
What I
from,
wanted to show
all the
here
way for,
is not the
79 in New
temperatures,
York,
which
76 right on.
yes, global warming, because you know we had 51 degrees up here in the hills and mountains north of New York City. Yeah, but this. Now, these are most likely radar images, Doppler imaging, and so on, similar to what an aircraft will have in the nose dome. The strength of the signal is directly proportionate to the intensity the graph will show. And that means, you got your little green, light green, yellow, and so on. That means it's more rain that prevents the signal from coming back. Now, a lot of these don't really go into what is it called, radar shadowing, where there's so much that you can't see what's behind, and it might look like purple or black. On aircraft it's black. I think weather they use shades of purple. And what does that mean? Well, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's like so much ash or rain or hail or whatever that you can't see a damn thing. It just means that here, right, the radar that bounces from that gets sent from New York doesn't have any more strength signal wise to send a signal in return. So everything here could be clearer. Well, maybe probably not clear, but it's not going to be like, oh my God, it's insane, because it wasn't. And the hindsight of 2020, because this happened 2 days ago, posted when? 3 days ago. Let me see here. It was noticeable, but it wasn't horrific. But I love my cars, even if they have to sit outside, some of them. Even the Marquis and even the Jeep got washed with its Rhino line paint job.
But because we're talking about this smoke concentration, and some of it is unhealthy and some of it is pretty heavy around the area, how does this play out over the next couple of hours? Right around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, when you see the purple levels and you go off to the chart here, it's actually off the chart. It's the heavy.
Yeah, see, because they're trying to, oh my God, it's off the chart. No, it's because nothing is returning. Yeah, it could be that it's off the chart, but likely it's not, because it doesn't make sense. But it does make sense when you think about like how much the signal has to return, and you see there's like a radial nature to this shape. They kind of cover it up with their logo. It's central to where the Doppler station is. Play, buddy. Come on.
Heaviest smoke concentration is dropping in through central New York State, goes into Boston, kind of comes out through.
Sam was mentioning.
Anyway, we got photos.
Comes in from the north with that northerly wind kind of circulating around this area of low pressure over eastern New England, and it heads into our area and just makes for that hazy sky. And not only is this smoke causing hazy skies and is aloft, it's actually mixed all the way down to the surface and is really impacting our air quality. Check out that air quality alert that we have in effect. This is in effect right through tomorrow night.
Okay, fine. See, one of the problems I had was because, A, I don't trust the news anymore, like many of you. They've lied so much that how do you filter out what's right, what's wrong? And that's where word of mouth comes in, and that's what this show, basically, I'm trying to steer in that direction. It's a bunch of guys, we're talking, and we're sharing our stories. No agendas, no whatever. So I can say that, yeah, the sky was eerie, but it wasn't all... Where do they have the photos? Yeah, you get stuff like this, which the reality is... Go away. The reality is that it wasn't like this bad. Filters and whatever. Now, who knows? Maybe New York City is that bad, but I'm like 10 miles away. The sky was hue. I had an orange hue to it. It was eerie. Yeah, you know, kind of like, oh, cool, whatever. Anyways. So, I'm going to experiment a little bit with these kind of single topic videos, trying to crank out more of them. I want this channel to grow because we got a lot of things timetable wise we got to get done. And unfortunately, it was raining and storming. Today I was supposed to do something with our car club. I do want to bridge this gap between online and in person because the reality is that cars are less of an online thing. I know they're trying to do that, but the pleasure of driving, hearing the engine, the exhaust, stick shifting, or even, you know, manual with the supercharger whines, and, you know, that's in person. And you can't simulate that. I know they're going to try, but screw Neuralink. Anyways. So, check out the t-shirts as I walk away from the mic. Heavy metal, the 4 elements of heavy metal. It does help out the channel, and I think they're cool t-shirts. What's the point of a muscle car if you're not trying to work out and improve yourself and, you know, do a little bit of... So, I'm Alex. This is Rip Roaring Garage, where oil is thicker than blood. Hit me that like, and I hope you have a rip-roaring day.